Ericsson look gassed out like exhaust, but our cup final we're on course. Thanks to the goal of Wout, their course. Nottingham Forrest come like starters. Newcastle United main course. And if you know anything about scripture, they say the violent take it by force. What? Ericsson look gassed out like exhaust, but our cup final we're on course. Thanks to the goal of Wout, their course. Nottingham Forrest come like starters. Newcastle United main course. And if you know anything about scripture, they say the violent take it. What?
Matthew 11, verse 12.
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, I like saying smoke gets served. Look, I get used to saying smoke gets served when it's not us, when it's the opponent. And Nottingham Forest got the smoke delivered, handed on the plate, evaporated, came back again, then evaporated again. Look, Manchester United, I've got one leg in the semi-final. Next leg, second leg of Nottingham Forest is at home, and quite frankly our home has been a fortress, so I expect us to be able to rotate, and I still expect us to be able to get through to that final relatively unscathed. But NK, how are you doing, man? Welcome.
I'm doing good, man. So it's always good when United win, man. It's always good. We're always in a good mood, especially after what happened at the weekend. Had to hide for 1 or 2 Arsenal fans, but we're back on the street now. We're back on the street.
That's the good thing, because with Manchester United, yeah, like when we've had setbacks, Man United's always been able to respond, and it doesn't take too long. Obviously, we wanted to respond in a big way against Arsenal after the Palace setback, but Man United has not got their heads down in the dumps. Do you know what I mean? Their mentality there in terms of when we lose, let's scratch that. Let's focus and refocus and keep it pushing is what I like to see, is what I like. And that sort of mentality alone is going to get us challenging for fighting. As you can see, we're in a final en route, and it's the same mentality that's hopefully going to get us our top 4. And hopefully it'll be that mentality where other players are looking at us thinking, we're not just any team now. Like, this team has got sort of ambition. This team has got, you know, drive. Maybe I want to join them and be part of something that is got some sort of positive future, positive outlook. So I'm happy about that, man. I'm happy about that. But look, I tell you, NK, look, Rash, my boy, when are you gonna learn to just, you know, I tell you about these guys, but Bruno, Rash, I accepted them for their flaws. I said, I embrace you, pause, I accept you for your flaws. Look, and you can see it week in, week out, Rashford is putting in the work and he's getting his goals. What was your thoughts, man? Man like Rashford.
Look, at the moment, Rashford is doing what he needs to do, which is
10 and 10, you know, 10 and 10, bro.
I think is it 10 and 10 or 10 and 11? Because he didn't score in one of the games. If I'm right, yeah, he didn't score in one of the games. But look, as I said to you, he's scoring the goals that he needs to score, and as a forward player, you always have to applaud him. But I don't know, there's still something about his game that I'm still waiting to see. I'm just still waiting for him to take it to the next stage, to me, which is the maturity in his game. You know, he's gained the goals, which is all right, but I still feel like in games he fade, you know. And if he's playing as a striker, I'll give him a pass. It's okay, you know what, you a striker, so maybe if you score a goal, then it doesn't matter. But I just still feel like, to me, at times, he's just too direct for me. You know, I just want him to learn the balance of when I can be balanced, when I don't have to be there. But I think yesterday, his performance was actually good, though, to be honest with you. The performance was very good. He got his goal. He had a bit of patches of good moments and stuff like that. And then he kind of like faded out of it. But look, as I said to you, if a player is scoring the goals, you can't criticize the other part of about it. I'm just hoping if the goals dry up, do you have a lot in your tank to offer the team? You know,
can you do the Gabriel Jesus? Yeah, can he do the Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, and that's what I'm just, especially since he played on the left wing. If you're not getting the goals, can you what do you call it? Can you provide chances for your striker? You know, what are you gonna do? Can you do the other stuff? You know, bring your fullback into play, and that's the bit that I've been critical about his game. But for now, if he's scoring, then we're gonna have to put those conversations to a different day.
That's my guy, bro. You know, I'm always gonna back my guy, bro. He's doing well. Look, I ain't gonna lie though, there's parts in that play where he gave away the ball. Like he led, like his poor pass led to one of the goals that the goal that we conceded that was ruled out.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, Rash, man, like don't give these people ammunition. Like stay focused, you know. And I know it's like, I don't know what it is, whether it's like they built like too many games because Man United's just got a crazy pile up fixture list. But it's just like I look at certain guys and they're not looking like their optimal selves. Like, and maybe it's because we're playing low. No offense to Nottingham Forrest, but lower position where these guys are kind of like slacking naturally. But it's just like Casemiro, for example. Casemiro, he was getting picked off the ball. Edwin's just joining. I thought he was out celebrating our victory against Nottingham Forest, but he's joining. Once he loads up, look, I'll continue speaking. So even like with Casemiro, man, like Casemiro, I was looking at him thinking like, what's going on, bro? Like he's dwelling long on a ball, not aware of his surroundings, and then Gibbs White coming in from behind, pipping the ball off, managing to get a shot away, and like it was a bit worrying and getting me misplaced passes here and there. That sharpness was a bit there. Ericsson as well, I was just thinking, oh, come on, guys, like come on.
But friends, with the Casemiro stuff, I think, and this is. It's something that is in his game, If you really kind of watch him, I always told you, like, his tackling, his reading of the game is A class. But when it comes to that bit where he has to be on the ball and to be distributing it, he does what do you call it? He does misplace the ball quite a lot,
But not getting robbed off the ball. That was what I noticed. He was getting
But then
beaten.
if you remember, even when we played Everton or so, Onana did rob him of the ball. I think Fulham too, they did rob him of the ball. It's one of those ones where it creeps into his game, whether it's to deal with the fact that he's not used to the intensity of the Premiership in terms of like being on the ball, or if it come down to maybe that is not like his best skill set, so they have to just get someone else to do. Because even if you watch most of our games, when we are building up, he doesn't get involved too much in the build-up phase. It's mostly Ericsson kind of like dropping in too. But as I said to you, the other side of the games, you cannot question that about at all.
Damn. Edwin, this guy's just moving to my boy Casemiro right now. First of all, I've got through praising Rashford because he's the guy, as you can see. 10 in 11 or 10 in 10, whatever the stats is, looking like Rashford is our guy. We have to protect him at all costs, you know what I mean? Get the security around him. Get the ice baths out, everything that to just keep him nice.
I know the goals are there, but is his overall game good though?
I don't even care about his overall game. That's my boy, golden child, golden wonder.
No, but look. Okay, we have to go by like what we see, right? When Bruno was scoring, okay, Bruno scored yesterday, right? When Bruno was scoring and assisting, we were like, oh, we don't care. And then when we stopped scoring and he stopped assisting, we're like, bro, where's his overall game? So I'm just saying is like we need to have the same level of like attention for Rashford. He's got the
Bruno's still on smoke.
Anyway, but with Rashford, I think there's little things. It's like we can't build a team when we've got individuals. You know what I mean? Like he's not a team player at all. And you see a difference when you watch like Arsenal wingers. Like they do their little solo stuff, but they're team players. Like he really sometimes is like he zones out. He's like he hits the Matrix mode, and there's only him, and he's like, I'm the one, and then he's like you know what I mean, trying to stop all the bullets.
Do you blame him, Edwin, when you're looking across to the right and you're seeing I'm like Verkos and Anthony? At least, bro, Anthony, that's doing cha-cha-cha on the right.
Nah, that's all an excuse, man.
All man does is the cha-cha.
I think that's an excuse. Like at the end of the day, you don't know like how if you're somewhat like you're calling him the star player. And you've taken that responsibility, then it's your responsibility to lead that line properly. Like, you know
Edwin,
what I mean? Like,
no word of a lie. Verkos, I'm happy that he got off the mark, and we'll touch on him a bit more. But, bro, when that guy comes deep, he gets that ball back, he lays it off. Bro, that guy's taken at least 20 to 25 minutes to get into the set to get into the opposition.
Is it me or did Anthony not look happy when Verkos scored? Did you see
he wasn't celebrating. He turned around and was just like, "You took my thing."
He turned around. He kind of turned around.
Like that. Yeah, he wanted to do this. I'm just like, come on, bro.
But you know what? Like,
he's so
just
like
I'll just
when
touch on him quickly.
Go on.
I just felt like I know he's got like all the talent, but he's so negative in his play at times, man. Like,
who's that?
There was a time here. Anthony, like there's a time he beat the defender nicely, right? And then he ran, and then I know you.
What did I say, NK? What did I say in our group when I said that is same thing you're gonna explain? Is as soon as he done that, I messaged man in our group and I said, what is he doing?
I don't mind if he's one-footed because we've seen many one-footed left footers. Like we had like Van Persie, we had Robin. Like Giggs could use his right, but he's predominantly left, isn't it? Like dribbling. But I would have preferred if he used his left, beat that player, and I'd rather him just run to the byline, try and cut in and hit a cross in. But he just kind of like beat the player, ran, stopped, turned around and passed back.
Yeah. I was so annoyed when I saw it.
At the same time, NK made a good point. It's like, although we're getting onto him about this, we don't know the instructions from Ten Hag. Ten Hag could tell him, when you're in a position, play it back into the center so we can play it inside. You know what I mean?
That again is an excuse for my man.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be. You know when you're trying.
Why don't we try
both
Anthony
sides,
why don't we try him in a different? I mean, this is silly. I know it's gonna sound silly, right? Because he's
play him on the left.
Bro, we got everyone heavily wants to play on the left, but it's almost like if we're talking about we want byline crosses, wouldn't it make sense if his strongest foot is on the left, right? For him to run, that's what will encourage him to run to the byline and cross, right? Or you know what I mean? Or do what Shaw does. But it's not
just about the crossing. But anyway, talking about it, the manager even himself last week did allude to the fact that at times Anthony needs to be direct, you know. But to me, I feel like the directness too is that at times he gets double up too quickly. And when he gets double up too quickly, I think because maybe he's not used to the league yet or so, he doesn't have the confidence to just try to kind of like go for byline too. Because I don't know what it is with him, but I think
it's like a ball of energy when he's on
the
ball.
But that's the side that he needs to improve.
But look at what Edwin said though. But like this guy was free. So in the Arsenal game, he had yards ahead of him. He let Partey catch up to him. I don't know why. Do you understand? He's not necessarily the fastest, but he had space to be able.
He did stumble a bit. He did stumble a little bit.
In a game against Nottingham Forest, it's just like you're clear and then you're stopping and it's just like, bro, even when you ain't got man them doubling up on you, it's like your instinctive nature to be like, oh my days, I'm getting dizzy, I'm too high up the pitch, I don't know what to do. Let me turn back.
Here is the thing, and this is why to me at times I defend Anthony too, because with him, even without the goals and so, you can tell that at times when he plays, it's not just about him, it's about the team. For example, if he have the option, because you might talk about being direct, at times he feel like, okay, you know what, I cannot be direct in this sense where if I go, I'm going to lose the ball. So what he does is he recycles the ball, you know, which is something that we've heard the manager echo one time too. If it's not on, recycle the ball. So I think he just does that. So I think
we ain't trying to save the earth, bro.
He was one though.
We ain't trying to recycle and
I said one thing is no Captain Planet.
We didn't spend 100 million euros for him to be supporting the planet and recycling, bro.
Once he get the hang of the league, I've seen certain stuff that now he's doing now. That once he get the hang of the league, where he's able to actually add a bit of directness to his game, I see him literally like improving massively. Because now he do the defensive tracking back. He know how to recycle the ball to. Even yesterday, he had a very good game. Yesterday was one of the first time. I don't know if you lost. Sorry, he wasn't too much hugging towards the touchline. At times, he actually did switch with Bruno, where he did play in the 10 row.
He played centrally, bro. That's what I'm saying. Remember, he got that volley popped off. And it was a breath of fresh air seeing him shoot that way, because usually he cuts in and does that curler thing. I'm just like, bro, like he actually followed it, volleyed it centrally.
And this is what I say, because you know, and this is what I say to you, sometimes you don't know what the instruction that the manager is giving, because most of the time, he's always hugging the touchline. You see what happened when he gave freedom and is able to run, be moving around the pitch. You see a different side of his game. This is what I'm just trying to tell you. Like sometimes it's not just all down to okay, maybe he can do more, but what happened to if he get that kind of like freedom? You know, that will be inhibiting Bruno's positions, isn't it? Because like if he's wrong, I mean, he could afford to do that against Forest. But against tougher opposition, when you're leaving your position like that, Anthony won't even have that freedom to be able to do that, right? Because he's worried about what wing is going to be bombing down and then probably protecting or supporting Bruno Fernandes, right? But he had a bit more freedom in this Nottingham Forest game. And we saw him, like, even in that, you know, when we had that good, there was like a spell of play that was just like raw. Like, you know, when we done that really good one-touch football and Anthony got put through on a chance, which got saved. Yeah. I think it was between Bruno, Eriksen, and something like that. It was like raw. One thing about Anthony too is I'm just kind of clock. The more the better movements are around him, I think the more you see him play well. Yesterday, for example, anytime he get a ball, you see people kind of like running into the channels, making different runs, and he's able to either pass it to them or use them to play 1-2 of them. So I think he's a system player, so the movement kind of like help his game. And yesterday I saw that type of movement literally kind of like help his game out, man. But you know what? As I said to you, he's new in the league. His pride tag put a lot of pressure on him too, and I think fans are just used to seeing a different type of like winger, so they're just not used to that type of like the way he kind of plays. So I think in time he needs to both adjust to the team, and he also the team also need to adjust to him a little bit too, and hopefully we will see the best of him too.
Look, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just judging him on what I've seen thus far, and I hope he does come good. It's early to be judging him, I do know that, but obviously I'm passionate about my football, man. I'm passionate about this team winning games and winning trophies. When I see that he has opportunities to do better, man, I'm always gonna talk. But hopefully, you know what I mean, he comes good. Edwin, look, Maguire, there was no Maguire today. I mean, sorry, against Nottingham Forrest yesterday, there was no Maguire. And I know he's your arch nemesis right now, so I'll be worried.
Do you know what? It's not even about an arch nemesis, right? It's just that we have to be honest, as fans, because like one thing is never personal. I don't know him or anything like that. We just have to look at our team and say, like, is he good enough to play for our team?
Don't act like
no. Because it's not personal. Like, you know the ones where you don't know someone.
When you went uni together.
We're not even the same age bracket, but do you get what I'm saying? It's never personal, but I think we have to go back like to the times where there were certain players that we wouldn't even sign, even as backup. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you had to be of a certain level, right? And I think Maguire, because of the price we bought Maguire at, right? And we got like the hefty amount, right? There's a difference of being bought. There's been no improvement in his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But what I was going to touch on is the fact that obviously it's looking like he's, last choice centre back. Clearly, he's not.
They're looking to get rid of him and McTominay. I saw some reports about that.
I see some links as well. Yeah, and it seems like he's been actually. It looks very much so like Maguire's being phased up. But Lindelof came in, and from my observations of Lindelof with Martinez, it looked like a lot. It looked like a better pairing in the second half. It looks like whenever one of these defenders actually, whether it be Lindelof or whether it be Maguire, are paired with Martinez or even Varane, that they look better. So my question is just like, obviously Lindelof in the first half, he looked a bit shaky. I mean, pace was a bit too much for their young striker. And then, strength, he doesn't always look too strong, Lindelof as well. But in the second half, he came into his own.
Right, though. There was that tackle, wasn't it, that he done where the player beat him and he kind of like barged him a little bit in the box.
He got it. My thing is like, with these defenders, knowing that they can play and give a decent enough performance against opposition like this, is there a big need to get rid of them in the summer?
What, Maguire? Maguire would only work for us if we played three at the back. If we played a 5-3-2, you know what I mean? If there was two other defenders, with supporting him, right, I think it will work. But him playing as a 2, he's too vulnerable, and it's too much work to do for the other defender. So, look, you know me, I've always been a Bailly fan, innit? So I thought a fit Bailly is much better than Maguire, and maybe even better than Lindelof, but he has to be fit. So with the fact that we've got him coming back, I think we can afford to let Maguire go and just have him down until we. But wait. No, that's what I'm saying. We can because Bailly won't start, right? So it's like he'll be a good option for the bench. But then if not, we can always buy a different defender. We can buy another.
He's coming back. I think Bailly is.
No.
I don't think he's coming back. But I'm saying like in any like actuality that we get rid of Maguire, it's not like we get rid of him. And I'm like, I'm so scared. We've got to replace him straight away because he's like. It doesn't really play like that no more. For him to be like a staple of the team. Maybe last season we'll be like, if we get rid of him, we have to get someone in because, like he's been, when a player plays in a team, they get comfortable, you play around them. He hasn't played enough, so the team could actually do without him. To the fact we even played Shaw centre back.
Yeah,
and he's on the bench. Imagine.
Yeah, I think that's
solidified. He's even behind Shaw.
Yeah.
So he's even behind Shaw.
He's done.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, what do you call it with Maguire and Lindelof is that if I was in their shoes, personally, I would look to move on. Look, the manager have come on record to say, look, if you're happy with your role, then you can stay. And clearly, I don't think both of them are happy with their role. They still play international football. They want to get regular minutes if they want to be called by their countries, So
Maguire's still the captain, isn't he?
Yeah.
On paper, he's still the captain.
Yeah. And so I don't think it's a good enough role for them too. And you're talking about whether they're being covered too. The problem is now is that even if there is a big injury to any of our main centre back, which is Martinez and Varane, I don't think those two guys going straight away. I think in future, if the manager do go into a transfer window and do get midfielders, I see if it's an injury to Martinez, she'll go to centre back if they do renew his contract, or if it's Varane, I see Casemiro going in there if we go midfielders too. So I think it's one of those ones where in the summer the manager will have that uncomfortable conversation with them to tell them like, look, you're not gonna get games at all.
Game time, yeah.
You know what? If Casemiro does get used as centre back going forward, you know that's potentially extending his
playing days.
Yeah.
Because what do you call? You see, Varane, for example, he's very good, but on the ball, with the ball, he's not the best because some of the stuff that Martinez can do on the ball, Varane necessarily cannot do it. And this is why I feel like in the long run, they will always look to get a centre back that is much better with the ball that can be playing those kind of. Because I saw when Casemiro play centre backs, he was actually making the passes. That normally Varane will, associate Varane kind of like doing it. Varane move the ball quicker, but in terms of like his distribution, he's not the best at it. So
that's why they wanted Timber, isn't it, initially? But
that's what.
Like you say, is it like I saw that with Varane? I've said it for a long time. It always looks like he's hesitant on the ball, like he's like
jittering. Because that's not his skill set. That's not necessarily his skill set. So in the long run, we will see. We just need to first of all get to the Champions League, get some money, and then we move on from that. But
I still can't believe that we got Varane at our team. Performing at this level. Like I look at it and think, if he was still at Real Madrid, I'm sure he'll be getting a lot of the headlines. I'm sure he'll be like people will be talking about Varane this, Varane that, Varane this, Varane that, one of the best centre backs. And I just look at Man United and thinking, damn, like how the hell did you get Varane? How did you get, like defensively speaking, with Casemiro, Varane, Martinez, Malacia, like Wan-Bissaka even, you just think like this is one of the deepest defenses defensively out there. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, raw, like teams are struggling.
I think NK said, well, like Martinez is really good on the ball. Like I saw even that pass he played to, was it Bruno? And then Bruno tried to play it across the worker. So like you say, like in terms of even carrying the ball confidently and passing it forward or doing them, them being able to actually see a run and do it. Like you say, like Varane doesn't have it in his Arsenal, but what he does have is that experience and his position is really good.
Yeah. That pass that you said though,
A-class, man.
that was solid. The one where he passed through that deep. That's what Lindelof does a lot. Maguire likes his diagonal pass, but Lindelof can pull that off as well. Where
Lindelof likes to charge forward, though, isn't it? You see him when he bombed in forward.
Lindelof can pull that off, but then he doesn't try a few times to. He's a guy. He's very. I don't know the word to use. Yeah,
who's this, Maguire?
He's not aggressive. Bro, Lindelof is not aggressive.
Yeah,
even with the ball,
soft.
He's good with the ball, but then he will not try certain stuff. He's always want to just be so cautious all the time. And with Tim Hag like his centre backs to be more aggressive. Yeah,
and ambitious. Do you know what he likes? I think he's the fear, isn't it? I feel like he's got the skill set, but he's like he wouldn't unlock it. He'll just do the basics just to get by.
Yeah. Look, Workhorse, man. He's on a score sheet finally. Look.
Yeah.
He's joined Manchester United. He got off the score sheet, man, and I'm happy for this guy, man. And these are the games that I was expecting him to impact more than anything, and he managed to do so. I see him dropping in. I see him holding up the ball. I see him bringing in plays. I saw more of what people were talking about, of what he was doing at Arsenal against Nottingham Forest, because the hype of the game of Arsenal just kind of like distracted me, blinded me. I couldn't really focus too much, but in the game against Nottingham Forest,
I ain't gonna lie, you were on one for that.
Yeah,
Arsenal
I was on one. I was big time on one. And against Nottingham Forest, I liked Workhorse's involvement. I would say that the only thing that I noticed, like I say, is this: you can't do anything about the speed, right? And I noticed that with Workhorse, the minute that ball went into the ball, I think the ball was crossed like once. He's active. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was. I don't know if he put him in.
He's got. You know what? He's not the fastest, but you know what it is. There's certain people that are not fast, but they've got quick reaction skills. Like even that goal he scored, he's to get in front of that, like even hold him up and shoot. Like he's got quick. But it's like NK said, isn't it? He's like, I know there's there's big conversation about he's not fast, but there's so much speed around him, right? And Enke said he's not, as long as the wingers play how we play, he ain't gonna ever do well. So technically they have to cater to him. They need to like get balls in the box more.
Pelestri came on. He whipped in a ball automatically. Yeah. I think Vekhorst is getting on the end of that, and that's not. We need to exploit that side of like more,
even even crossing the ball in, even if it doesn't get to him. You know, when there's a muddle up in the box and then he gets a rebound, like you just have to like Enke said it. If you don't service him, you can't complain if he's not playing well. He's not that type of player. He's not like a Ronaldo or what other type of strikers are there? Like he's not that type of striker that will drop, pick up the ball, can beat 1-2 players and score. It's not his game.
I ain't gonna lie though, you know when you put something on, like you play something and then you like, I don't even know the speed, the speed settings, when you just hit that minus.
Mate, I think you're making too much. You're making too much of his speed, man.
Do you know Football Manager, where it's like when you see the attributes, and you know when it's like red? No, it's not red. Like
he's too good. Like, no, but he cares too much about this guy's speed.
No, but I see the problem right now is, and this is why sometimes I listen to the press.
It's like he's running in water.
If you watch it, in the first 15 minutes, we were playing well. We were controlling the game. The passing was very good. And then once we got a goal, I think around the 20th minute, we started to rush it. And there was one or two people in our team where when they get a ball, and I think this is at times Rashford is guilty of that too.
Yeah.
Even if he's alone and he still three guys there, rather than just slow that kind of like attack down and say, okay, you know what? I'm outnumbered, so let me just try and bring other people into the game. He will go alone. When you have a striker who cannot keep up with that, it's never good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, and that's what the manager, even yesterday after the game, the manager said, look, we tried to make it a tennis match. This is like about the third time that he's repeated that statement. So, Weghorst, he's a fox in the box. You saw the goal that he scored. When they put stuff in the box, he's always going to come alive.
Yeah.
And yesterday he had 20 passes completed. You know, hold up play was very good. Link up play was very good. As I said to you, the stuff that he's doing, the team need to push it a bit more higher up the pitch
to get
rather than doing it deep. They need to push it higher up the pitch. And if you're doing it higher up the pitch, you just need to put you onto the wings and get in the box for someone either to pass it to him, cross it to him, or find a better pass for his movement too, man. So that's what they need to do.
And the thing is, I think what will help Vekhorst is like that midfield battle. That midfield battle, like, you know, Man United fans want that complete control of the midfield. They're crying for it. They're demanding it. Every time Vekhorst has to keep dropping in deep to support the midfield play when he should just be able to chill. Like you see Haaland just being able to chill more time and do his thing up top. Vekhorst is getting involved, and then that counter-attack where we're trying to do the transitional play, it's taken long to get man involved. He's not going to be there in the box where you've got Anthony sprinting or Rashford sprinting on the ring. So we really need to try and manage these games, man, because Nottingham Forrest, I don't even know what the possession stats was against Nottingham Forrest, to be honest, but it's just like, bro, we should be seeing possession stats of Man United heavily skewed to Man United, and it's not, you know what I mean? And we just ain't got those type of players that allow us to do this type of ball, you know what I mean? And I start thinking of all
we don't do it for 90 minutes. Because even the opening minutes, one of the things that we were so good, because one of the things about controlling games is when you lose the ball. In the opening 15 minutes, anytime we lost the ball, we were very aggressive to get it back. But then it's always, we do that in patches. Like we would do it for a particular spell of the game, and then right in the middle or so, we just become relaxed where we're not pressing them no more. We just allow them to have the ball, and when we do win the ball too, we just straight away just go and lose it within like about a second. You know what
we actually had? I just checked it. We actually had a lot more possession. It's like 68. I think it was like 66 in the second half, 68 in the first half overall. Right, the stats was saying that we had in the match 67%. So it was quite a lot, but it just didn't feel like we was in control.
Because we we have the possession, but it's about what part of the pitch are you having this possession? Are you having it more in your half, or are you having it more in their half? Are you creating chances with this possession?
And it's more.
And I think that's what we don't see. Yeah, that's it. That's what we don't see. Because as you said to you, there's different ways of controlling the game. But when you have the ball, it's what you do with the ball. You know, are you moving the ball quicker? Are you creating chances into the box? Are you working into the box? Yeah. And that's just like the next step about this play. But overall, I think the players gave themselves a good account. The manager played what do you call it? A strong squad, which a lot of people wanted rotation, but he said, "Look, it's a semi-final. Let's go win it." And then he did do that. And then the player that came inside Malacia, big shout out to him, man. I'm a big fan of Malacia, man.
He's a big fan. He should have played against Arsenal, man, as well, man.
But you know what? It's what you said, NK, in that Arsenal game. You said if he came, like, we never know if the results would have been different. But the gap he allows between the attacker and him is so in regards to Shaw. Like, Shaw stands up, whether it's a foul or not, he'll be on you. So he rushes to you. It doesn't give you a chance.
Is Martinez kind of messed up that situation in a sense because he's so good? It's almost like, because in that game against Arsenal, right, you could have potentially had Malacia on the left, right, Luke Shaw in the middle, alongside Varane, for example. But because Martinez is back now, we felt like we had to play Martinez next.
Yeah, but Martinez played all right though. But
he did play good. He's always going to play well. Do you understand?
You know what I feel like? But
overall, the balance with that left-hand side with Malacia.
Look, as I said, right now, for the team we want, if we want a team that presses and we don't want to like stand off teams, it's like Malacia has to play them type of games where you're playing against wingers that are either very tricky or fast, because he will just like, you got to remember, like, these attackers probably get confidence when you're stepping off them. Then they can just think, like, he don't give you time to think he's on you. So
I hope Eric learns from that. I hope he really does learn from that.
I think the thing about Eric is that I think with Malacia, I think the away games, is very cautious to use him in away games, especially because he had those kind of like performances against City, and I think one of the Europa League games. So I think with the away games, he liked to push Shaw there more as experience too, because maybe he felt like, okay, you know what, on the counter and stuff. Of course, Shaw, we know him. He don't really bump forward up and down like Malacia does. So I think he's gonna learn his lesson going forward. Look, to me, as it stands right now, look, Shaw, in the long run, I don't see him as a left back. He can be a cover-up at centre back, but as far as left back goes, he's not going to be the guy. So the quicker the manager make that decisions, maybe at the end of the season anyway, because this season, I think it's still going to be them two rotating it. But sure, he don't go up and down a lot, defending-wise, so he's always allowing his wingers too much time. Like, he's not aggressive, you know, and you cannot be, you need to be aggressive in this league. Yeah, so
you do. Can't be passive,
do, especially when you play left back. You need to do that.
But it's very it's like very like you say. I think it's already in his mind that he wants another. Because wasn't it at the beginning of the transfer he was saying that he wants another left back and right back? So already, even though we had Shaw and Malacia, he's always
want another left back. I thought he wanted.
That's what he said.
I never heard about. The thing is, I know he wanted another right back, potentially one Basaka going in and a new one coming in too. But look, it won't surprise. I don't know. Shaw got 18 months left on his contract.
I can't see him going anywhere after he's performed how he's performed at centre back. I can't see him going anywhere. Like, if anything, he's going to be a centre back. Do you know what I mean? I can't see him going anywhere.
Well, it depends. As I said to you, a lot of these players, I know they're going to have a conversation, and the manager will tell them exactly what it is. Yeah. If it's one of those ones where he's going to bring in a second left back, he's going to tell them, like, look, you're going to be a backup, what do you call it? Centre back in my team, because I'm going to go with my so and so. I think the manager will let them know exactly what their position is. So it's up to them. If they are happy to stay with whatever role that they get, then
Look, I'm excited because, like I said earlier, we've got one leg in the semi-final. I mean, one leg in the final, Wembley. And, you know, I mean, hopefully that second leg we can get that done and dusted. Look, Newcastle had a more of a tighter game with Southampton. But my thing is, when I looked at that Newcastle squad, right, they had Isaac coming on and St. Maximin, and those type of guys tend to trouble us guys at St. Maximin. Isaac's back. They just look strong. Bruno, Guimaraes, and they just had hard-working, good, organised, drilled players all over that team, man. Willock. And I'm just like, oh man, like I don't even want to get carried away with this final or this cup, because Newcastle is more than capable of giving Manchester United a shock. Do you know what I mean? So, but you know, we'll take it each day as it comes, man. But look, who is your man of the match? Let's wrap it up. Look, Edwin, who's your man of the match?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You don't have a man of the match.
What's his thinking? Look, my man of the match is gonna be Workhorse, man. So to me, I think he worked hard. He was pressing. Link up play was good. He could have got that he deserved to win. It was a centre forward goal. You know, shot came in, boom. He was the first one to react. Sitting number 9, our team will never do that. But anyway, we move, man.
Maybe I'll give. I don't know. I might give it to Cass. After missing the Arsenal game, I think he played solid. I don't know.
No, he did not, man. He was shaky, man. Cass was shaky, man. Leo Poco rob him.
I think there was moments in it, like Rashford had his goal. Eriksen played all right. Could have scored. Anthony had one of his better games, but hey, maybe I'll just go with what NK said, man. I'll give it to Workers. You know, he's getting a lot of stick. People been on him like, well, you're not Man United thing, but look, he scored. He'll get better as long as the team get better around him. So I'll just give it to him.
Look, I'll conclude. I'll give it to Martinez, man. I'll go with a general consensus in that game as well. I felt like he done really well. We didn't talk about him much, but Harold's winning those balls aerially as well. I mean, people talked about his height. They don't talk about it no more. He was doing really well. He sniffs out danger really well. And a lot of his performances in that game anyway went unnoticed. Not a lot of his performances, but in that game it went unnoticed. And I just feel like he had a really good game and he held it together. And yeah, I give it to him. But shout out to my boy Rashi each and every time, man. Each and every time, top goal scorer. Gonna catch Haaland, and that's that. But guys, thank you for joining once again. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts, and we move over to Reading, man. Here we come. FA Cup, man. I hope we are rotating the whole squad. You get me? But until next time, peace.
Peace.